And now for the weather with Sean Quinn. Such a beautiful day. Sean, will this continue?
Yeah, absolutely. We're watching on the last several days clouds with some drizzle, and then that leads to the storm system to pass by us, and that was what we saw yesterday with all the blustery conditions, and that was a bit on the cool side. Today it's quieted down, still monitoring the cloud cover potential, and the highs slightly below normal for most areas. Some areas got right to about their seasonal norm, but again, most areas were still slightly below, especially in the morning hours. You started out so chilly, but then by the afternoon with all the ample sunshine, we did a little better. Holding on to the wind advisory through tomorrow morning for the Santa Barbara South Coast, the usual areas of about just a little west of Goleta, officially out toward Point Conception, Point Arguello, and the mountains of Ventura County. We'll hold on to that for maybe an extra day. Currently temperatures cooling off. It's not, again, overly warm, even though we have a north wind. It's kind of northwest, so that brings in a lot of ocean influence, and it's staying, again, on the cool side. Gaviota, you're the breezy spot right now, or at least breeziest, and everybody else fairly quiet, although I take that back. San Luis Obispo, you've got a pretty solid wind out of the northwest, and possibly the gusts in the mountains are a little higher, more than likely they are. Still a lot of humidity out there lingering around, so when the winds kind of quiet down, or if you're on the windward side of the mountains, there's a good chance that you could see some cloud cover. Probably no threats as far as anything else other than maybe some reduced visibilities for any mountain roads. Strong spring storms. They typically roll well over to the north of us, and look at the mix of weather that they're bringing in to the Midwest. And I want to point something out. Fire hazards are there, but this is an identical map from yesterday where they got walloped by the tornadoes that Patricia just talked about. They're seeing it again right now as we speak. There is all these flashing boxes right there. I poked on a couple of them earlier. We typically focus on our own weather, but I did tap on a few of those. Severe thunder, but if you look really closely in there, a couple of those are flashing for active tornadoes literally as we speak in this late afternoon, early evening. So they're doing it one more time again, and again, almost in the same exact spots. All right, there's a clear map for us. Again, the storms typically go over the top of us, and we become ever more famous for our very quiet spring weather, which can be blustery at times, but for the most part is just really just nice, not that bad, even though we do see the fog. We also get some winds. For the most part, though, we're usually pretty mild. So the northerly winds will hold on to those overnight tonight into tomorrow. They do back off by the middle of the morning or so, kicking up again by the afternoon. So we might get an advisory again for the Santa Barbara South Coast, rolling out from Goleta westward, and as well the mountains of Ventura County. We're officially still holding on to an advisory, at least until we start going back to work and school on Monday. All right, patchy fog across the board. It doesn't look like an overly thick marine layer, some reduced visibilities here and there, but for the most part, again, with this type of weather pattern, we have a lot of air being injected into the region, so it typically mixes out the clouds pretty quick, so we should see some pretty good clearing for our Sunday. And there's your expected highs for Sunday, and then as we fast forward to Monday, you'll notice not a lot of changes. Mornings cool and crisp, afternoons back into the 60s and 70s. A few areas, though, maybe knocking on the door of an 80 if we get lucky in those warmest spots. And now we'll go ahead and look, of course, at surf. And actually, we'll go the long range because I want to show something as we roll through the high pressure holding firm. But once we get to about next weekend, little storm system kind of knocks on the door, probably going to deepen our marine there, maybe bring a slight threat of a sprinkle or two. And that would be in about a week's time. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. All right, there's your high temperatures expected over the next couple of days. And I should say for tomorrow, we'll get to the 7-day in a moment. And again, it should be a nice one for the Santa Barbara South Coast as we head farther west and north of Point Conception into the 60s and 70s. Same story as we go up into northwestern portions of San Luis Obispo County where it will be the coolest. You go inland, though, you get into the 70s and then back into Ventura County. I want to point out the wonderful school on the Ventura Avenue will be having its Eco Day awareness for tomorrow. So an Eco Fest, I think it's what it's called. They're going to have great weather for that. And there's your surf report. Not a whole lot to talk about, but there is a little wind swell in the water. And there's your 7-day forecast. And you know what? With the eco stuff going on, I left the Earth Day from last Monday. And again, a nice forecast, as you can see right there, all week long. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sean.